Hello everyone, and welcome to Lesson 14. Today we're going to be looking at repeat signs, first and second endings. Now I thought that would be easier for me to show you on the actual practice sheet instead of me trying to write some of this stuff down. So we're going to go through this practice together. Remember, as always, if you need extra practice with something, stop the video, rewind, look at it again, or you can always ask questions in class. So first off, repeat sign. A repeat sign is two dots placed before a double bar. So it would look like this, right? We've talked about a double bar, how it usually occurs at the end of a piece of music. It can occur in other places, which we'll see in a second, but if you see two dots before it, that means that it's now a repeat sign. It means to go back to the beginning and play or sing the music again. So in this example, if we just had a double bar at the end, we would start here and play the music all the way through. Now, because we've added these two dots, it creates a repeat sign, which tells us to start at the beginning, play all the way to this note, play all the way through it, and then go back to the beginning and do it again. Now, usually that only means to do it once, unless whatever piece of music you're playing tells you to do it more than one time. But in most cases, it says to do it one extra time from beginning to end. Now, repeat signs sometimes appear in pairs within a piece of music. So sometimes you see one like regular, like we've seen, and then you see one the opposite, so the dots are on the other side of the double bar. The first repeat sign will then have two dots placed after the double bar. When this occurs, return to the first repeat sign at the beginning of a section. So in this example, we have two regular measures with nothing there. Then we run into this backwards repeat sign, which we can't do anything with, right? It doesn't tell us to do anything yet, because we can't repeat what we don't have those dots for. Then we get into this section of music, and if we were to play it all the way through, we see a repeat sign here. Now, according to this example at the top, that would tell us to go back to the beginning. But, because we have another repeat sign, it wants us to go back to the repeat sign instead of all the way to the beginning. So if I were performing this piece, I'd go measure 1, measure 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then repeat here again, so measure 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, just so we're clear, we would only play these two measures the very first time we would perform this music. Alright, and then the last way that we use repeat signs, it's a different term in a different way that they look, but it's still kind of a repeat. We use first and second endings. So another way of indicating repeat is with first and second endings. Play or sing through the first ending to the repeat sign, then go back to the beginning. When repeating, skip the first ending and play the second. So what we're looking at here are these lines above the staff, right? We have one with a 1 in it, and we have one with a 2 in it. We have a regular double bar over here, and then we have a repeat sign. So if I were performing this piece of music, I would go measure 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have a repeat sign. Go back to the very beginning, 1, 2. Now on the repeats, I skip the information that's here and play what's in the second ending. So 3, 4. Now altogether, if I were performing the music, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 measures total. Use the second ending the second time. Use the first ending the first time that we play through. Alright, now, the exercises. I'm going to always suggest that you pause the video for just a second, complete these exercises, and then come back and we'll go through them together. Okay, welcome back. Exercise 1 says to rewrite the following example using a repeat sign. So what I like to do whenever I'm doing these examples is to mark the measures that repeat with numbers. So we have this measure with 4 quarter notes that also happens over here in measure 5. So what I do is I put a 1 here and a 1 here to tell me that those two measures repeat. I see that these two half notes are the same as these two half notes, so I put a 2 here because they're the same and they repeat. These two half notes are the same, so I put a 3 here. And then we have 2 whole notes, so 4. So what we can tell by looking at the numbers now is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it repeats again, 1, 2, 3, 4, the exact same numbers. Alright, so basically all we have to do is to bring these measures down into what we have down here, and we add a repeat sign. So now we're going to have 4 measures because they give us that answer. We add our double bar over here at the ends, 2 dots, alright, and then we just bring down measure 1. So E, D, E, F, stems going down to the left, 2 half notes, 2 half notes again, stems going up on the right there, and then a whole note. Alright, so basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, then repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. If we add the repeat sign, it makes it a lot faster. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, then repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The second example says to rewrite the following example using a pair of repeat signs. Now I always find this example a little tricky because it gives you these 2 measures that are exactly the same at the beginning. But if you remember up at the beginning, it did the same thing. So we need to know that these 2 measures don't mean, or they aren't going to be repeated. They're not going to have a repeat sign. If we look past them and we write the numbers again to match them up, we can see where some things line up. So this measure is the same as this measure. This one, same as this one. These 2 are the same. These 2 are the same. And these 2 are the same. Right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it repeats again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can look back at them in case you aren't sure, see how they end up being the same thing. Now, what we want to do is first bring these 2 measures down. All these stems go up and on the right. Alright, so that's done. Now, we know we're going to have a repeat sign at the end, so we can draw that. 2 dots, and we know that what's going to be repeating are these 5 measures, right? We have 5, and then we have 5 again, and we have 5 open measures down here. So we want a forward-facing repeat also. So draw your other double bar with the forward repeat sign, and then we just bring them down like we did before. So we have dotted half note, dotted half note, then a half note and a quarter note. And then another half note and a quarter note, and then finally this measure 5 here is a dotted half note. Okay, so if we were performing this whole piece, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and repeat to the repeat sign, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you would get the exact same thing if you perform this whole example up here. Alright, question 3. Rewrite the following example using first and second endings. So, like we did before, let's try to match the things that end up matching. So this one is the same as this one, right? The notes and rhythms are exactly the same. This one is the same as this one. But then we see that we have stuff that doesn't line up, they don't match up. If we were performing the music, we would go 1, 2, and then we have to do the next 2 in order, right? 3, 4. And then we get to these repeated ones, 5, 6, and then we do the thing at the very end, 7, 8. So what we do is we bring the things that are repeated, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, outside of the 2 endings. So bring those here. Stems all going down for that first measure. Stems going down the second measure. So we have that. And that's going to get played twice, right? Because this repeat sign is going to tell us to come back to the beginning. Now we have the first thing that we play that's different. So that's measure 3 and 4. They go in the first inning. Okay? Now the only thing left is what's at the very end. And that makes sense because we would play that at the very end with these endings. So half notes, quarter, quarter. And then dotted half notes and a quarter rest. Sorry. And if I were performing, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat sign, 5, 6, skip this ending, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can always check your work that way. Alright, as always, if you have questions, remember to refer back in the video, stop, pause, rewind, and if you have other questions that don't quite get answered, you can always contact me through Schoology or let me know in class. Hope you're having a great week.